I think that probably the most difficult aspect of nutrition as a science is that it's very dependable on the individual and their lifestyle. And I mean, if you look at how diets have progressed, it's strange, really, because like 40 years ago, people would demonize like eggs and bacon and fat, and now we see the opposite happening. People are demonizing carbs,
Mm-hmm.
and especially processed carbs and processed sugars and corn syrups. And we are leaning towards a more high fat diet. We have incorporated all of those nut butters and like good fatty acids from fish. So everything that we had been told we should not eat, we are now urged to eat. And that had to do, in my opinion and in a lot of people's opinion, the food pyramid. Remember the food pyramid where you have like on the bottom you have you should eat at least 3 portions of grains, and then it would go like grains, vegetables, meat,
Uh-huh.
dairy, eggs, and then at the very top of the pyramid like fats. So be super careful with your fats, because fats are the devil and they're gonna kill you in heart disease. And actually the opposite has been shown lately, that sugar is the enemy, and not only in terms of weight gain but also in terms of cancer. There's a lot of studies looking at like processed carbohydrates, sugars, and sweeteners, and how they increase your risk for cancer. So yeah, I don't know. I guess we have to figure out what works better for each of us. Some diets may not be as beneficial
Mm-hmm.
to some as they are to others. And I've tried a lot of them, apart from being vegan. I've tried paleo, which was wonderful, actually. I don't know why I stopped following paleo. I think because of time. I've tried keto, which was
I am very interested in knowing how was your journey with the keto diet.
weird.
That's what I hear from people who have had that diet, and basically, I'm not gonna name this person, but she's very close to me, and she said that she was this close to getting a dialysis because that's what it did to her.
Oh yeah, I knew about those risks, so I knew that I was only gonna do that for 1 month. Like I was not gonna subject my kidneys and my liver into all that, cause it, and I did the hardcore, like no carbs,
Mm-hmm.
not a single leaf of vegetable was eaten during that month, and that like fucks up your, I guess, your gut most of all.
Yeah, your microbiome.
I don't want to get like too TMI, but like all those functions where my body was like, well, what is happening? What is this? Why are we only eating flesh? It's hard. And I think if you don't get all those micronutrients from plants, your salads, your vegetables, your gut starts to suffer.
So, was the transition like a quick one, or was it more of a slow one? And how long did you give this diet? I just want to ask this question because is it because the body needs some time to adapt to a new regime?
So I think it didn't take me too long to adapt, like probably 3 days.
Okay,
And it's funny because on the third day, third or fourth day, I stopped being hungry. Like
interesting.
I could do one meal a day. I could do one meal every 2 days if I wanted to.
Huh.
I was not feeling hungry, and I think it's all the fats.
Yeah.
Because I would wake up and I would eat like 6 eggs and a packet of bacon.
Yeah, now it makes sense because fats are the most efficient fuels, right? So the body can store it very well and use it when required. So you have a lot of storage.
And it's crazy because I can go right now. I can go and eat that whole packet of waffles that I have, and I will still be hungry in 2 hours. But try eating 6 eggs and like 400 grams of bacon, and come tell me that you're hungry in 2 hours. You are dead for 5 hours. Like your body's like, no more. It's crazy. But I did lose some weight,
And you
and
say some, like,
2 pounds, 3.
okay,
Like, I'm not an overweight person, so it's really hard for me to lose weight.
right.
Like, I have to go into extremes to actually lose weight without working out, because I also have to add that's something I did not test. How would the keto diet affect my workouts?
Mm.
Because I know from experience that I need my carbs.
Yes, you do.
I can feel it in my muscles. Like when I work out and I haven't had a lot of carbs, I can feel like the burn, but the bad burn, not the gains burn, the burn that you actually feel like you're going into rhabdolysis or something, which
You know
is
what else needs carbs to function properly?
what?
Your brain.
Ah, yeah, true. I completely forgot about my brain.
Yes, it's completely dependent on glucose.
Yeah, you can just cut off glucose. I think in the everything's fine. Yeah, sure, go ahead and try something for a week, see how it goes. But long term, you cannot subject your body to extremes, in my opinion. Like zero carbs or zero fats or zero is not a good thing. Avoiding processed carbs, yes. Yes, I'm all for it. And another thing I had tried in the past, and I know you wanted to kind of talk about, is fasting.
Yeah.
Yeah, intermittent and otherwise. I'm sorry, this is my can, not of beer, of coffee.
So research has shown that I'll tell you what the little I know about fasting.
Yeah.
So research has shown that by fasting, you're basically lowering the metabolism of your cells, right? So that way you can prolong the youthfulness. And in some instances, it has also shown to help with reduced risk of cancer.
Yes. First of all, like the first effect it has, which I noticed right away on myself, is the reduction of inflammation. And I'm referring, of course, to inflammation like in the visual sense, because
Mm-hmm.
I think you can tell when you're bloated. Basically, you are inflamed in your belly, or for me, it's mostly in my thighs and belly. Like within 3 days of intermittent fasting, and I just did the easy one, the 16/8 in the beginning. For those that don't know, you can eat for a window of 8 hours. You don't have to pay as much attention to caloric restriction, but for 16 hours, you cannot consume anything that has a calorie count. So you can drink like black coffee, you can drink tea, you can drink water, but you cannot have that caloric intake. And what this does is that it helps regulate your insulin. There's a lot of studies that have shown that it regulates your IGF. It regulates your immune system much better. It reduces cytokines, which in their turn reduce inflammation. And then those are like the metabolic adaptations that happen, and these are followed by some molecular adaptations, because your metabolism works in a different way. So now it produces different molecules, different proteins, and at the cellular level, and that is a more long-term effect, it does increase autophagy. So autophagy is basically when the cells can kill themselves, let me put it this way. It reduces apoptosis of stressed cells. It increases DNA repair mechanisms, and we can actually see that there is an overexpression of repairing proteins, and all those together work to lower your incidence of cancer. And I mean, at least my take on it, more in a more evolutionary perspective, is I do not feel like humans as a species are designed to constantly have this access to food like we do. Like, if you look at it as a hunter gatherer species, it's not normal. Like, you will not have access to food 24 hours a day, you will not have snacks.
But that is if you're only dependent on meat. but there used to be a lot of vegetation on ours.
But still, like, it has been shown that the body responds better when you allow your insulin levels to kind of flatten. If you keep feeding yourself with sodas and with drinks and with snacks and with foods, you are keeping your body into a prolonged, like, flat state of insulin spikes.
Mm.
And that's something that does not allow your liver to detox. It keeps your kidneys busy all the time. And those are the main benefits of fasting, actually, that you allow yourself time to detox and for your body to follow its natural processes before you go into consuming more and more and more food. My problem with fasting personally was that I would not take enough calories in because I was working, and, like, you know how this goes. I cannot fit 2 big meals into 8 hours. So I would lose a lot of weight. I lost a lot of muscle mass. Surprisingly, though, my workouts were fine. Like, I did not feel faintish or weak, but I did lose a lot of weight, and then I just stopped.
Did you get hungry like before the next meal?
Sometimes, yes. So if I had because I would do like the classic 12-8. So I would start feeding, breaking my fast at noon, and then I would not eat anything after 8 p.m. So basically, you're skipping breakfast.
Yeah, but the downside of, I'm sure this has a lot of benefits, but the downside of intermittent fasting, which I think is, so you have lower metabolism. So now, if you were to lose weight, I mean, you're definitely losing a lot of weight through exercise, but through diet. But if you were to lose weight through exercise, it's not gonna like help you that much now, because lower metabolism means you have to work a lot more to
Yeah.
lose calories.
And that again depends on the individual. That's there are some
Yeah.
people who have a high metabolism, like myself, and intermittent fasting works really well with us. Like, I generally don't eat I generally skip a meal. Depending on my schedule, I will always skip a meal. And sometimes I do a 1 meal a day. I also did a 1 meal per 2 days at some point, which is amazing because you don't have to think about eating, which I know sounds weird. But for me, it worked. I know people for whom, just like you said, their body starts slowing down the entire metabolic process, and they actually end up, if you're doing this for weight loss, for example, they end up plateauing at a certain weight. Your body goes into survival mode. It's like, look, we're not getting food here, so we're going to hold on to whatever we have. It starts generating more fat. It starts storing. And it's counterintuitive, but that's how the body, evolutionary, must work, right? When you lose your access to frequent meals, it automatically assumes that she's not getting food. Like, what's going on?
Yeah,
Are we starving?
It's natural selection.
Yeah, so that's my take on fasting, but it has been shown over and over and over again for its risk reduction of cancer. And I think that's mainly attributed to autophagy.